I created an app to help me remember my piano recordings. I have tried writing sheet music. I have tried recording myself, which is helpful because I'm using those recordings. I've tried taking notes on like text documents and just associating things with everything else. It has not really worked well at all. And I have a difficulty remembering a lot of the things I play because I play a lot. And then I have a difficulty hearing by ear, being able to recreate things by ear. So it is very helpful to have an app where I can see all the notes visually and I can take notes directly onto the waveform or into the MIDI notes. So let me show you this app that I have created. All right, you can see it here. It's in my GitHub. It's just called Piano Reader. I'm going to copy the repo. I made this on my laptop, but now I'm just going to bring it over to my desktop so I can show you guys. Okay, so this is a simple app. Got a couple songs already saved here. So I'm going to click one of these and listen to it. All it is it's showing MIDI, and I have the chords I'm using. I have the basic form laid out here. Got a little bit of notes here, key, forms, blues, some overall notes. And so let's take a look. Wow, how cool. All right. I love my own piano music, of course. I made it. It's so good. Okay, so that was a fairly simple song, and not much even needed to be written down. I don't think I can. That would be easy enough for me to hear and understand. But here you can see, like I'm just writing down. I'm using the G major pentatonic scale with an extra additional C. Okay, that's like basic stuff I need to hear. If I wanted to recreate something like this, then I would know that I can play a pentatonic scale with an extra C. I don't know why I don't just call it a hexatonic scale, but anyway, it's more about how I'm thinking about it because I know how to do pentatonic scale things and I think about it in pentatonic. Okay, and then, you know, here it may not be obvious, you know, if I'm listening to this and it's been a couple years or something and I haven't heard in a while, I might be a little bit unfamiliar when I start getting here to this sort of exotic chord. It's not that exotic, but I'm playing a G minor chord when I'm in the key of E minor. So it might sound a little bit exotic and I might not understand what's going on, but I have it written here. I can just write it. G minor. And then I can write here, that I'm doing this. I'm playing the G minor. Oh, so I can play keys. That's cool too. But I can play, there's an emphasis on the third of the G minor, the B flat. And then there's a part where I'm transitioning from G minor to D6. And then you kind of do there's a grace note that's common with blues. So I'm using this, essentially, I'm using this G minor as a blue tone for the sixth that's coming up in the next chord. And all that's communicated here, which I wouldn't really be able to understand, or I may have difficulty understanding just from having listened to the music because I'm not really good at listening to music. Easy way of putting it, I guess. Hey, real quick, thanks for listening to that with me. If you liked it, please go support me on Patreon. I go deep into the nature of beauty because I think that understanding beauty will allow us to appreciate art more deeply. So if you support me, I can keep doing that. And of course, while I do that, I'll also share all the cool things that I find and all the cool things I can create. So I've got philosophy, I've got art, and I've got several more apps just like this one that I've made for myself, and I'll show you how to make similar things. Oh, by the way, this app is on my GitHub. It's for free, so you can just download it. You can use it if you want. You can update it. You can fork it, whatever. You can analyze your own music. It's all yours to use, and you'll see me updating it in the future. Okay, more music. Now I'm going to take us to another one that's even more, a little bit more complicated. This is one that I actually actively had difficulty trying to recreate because it starts with a really interesting chord, which you can see here. It's already written there. You can see what it is. It's a little spoiler, but it's really difficult to hear for me at least. And so when I sit at the piano, I have no clue how to recreate this chord, but just being able to see it like this, that makes it very obvious to me as a player. I can immediately understand what I'm doing. And then, so I can write that down and then I can kind of abstract and describe in my notes here. I can describe the exact philosophy behind it. I guess is one way of saying it. I can describe the theory behind it that I'm actually using to generate those two chords. Why am I using those two chords? So let's hear this crunchy chord. All right, there's not much to the song. It's a pretty simple structure of the song. It's just the chords are the thing that are kind of the harmony is a little bit strange. And I can explain kind of quickly, I think. All I'm doing here is I'm using diminished substitutions. So if you know anything about like jazz theory, it's very common to use tritone substitution for like a dominant chord. Instead of playing G, you might play D flat. Or in this case, instead of playing A, you might play E flat. And those are both dominant. You can both use those as both dominant chords for the same key. But in this case, I'm not substituting them as in replacing one. I'm just playing them both at the same time. So I'm playing E flat 6 and A augmented, and it sounds nice and lovely. And then I'm using that to transition to the C, which is another part of a diminished chord. All of those will work in a diminished chord. Okay, this is not a video really strongly about piano, so I'm not going to go deep into music theory to really explain all of that, but it's really helpful for me to be able to see all the notes and then have the text notes written out here to just closely describe what I'm talking about or what I'm thinking about when I need it. And then I'll do one more. Do I want to do one more or two more? Multiple more? All right, here's another one. I'll just describe one of the features I like with this. So kind of a fun part of making this type of app is that I can just make it for myself. So there's going to be there are multiple aspects of this. I want it to be, um, I'm kind of interested in this idea of having, let's say, disposable apps. There's one side of it, disposable apps or like apps for single use and not necessarily for one-time use, but for like one use case. Like I want this app for myself. I want it for my own piano music. And I know exactly what I want for understanding piano music, or at least I know some things I don't care about. And in particular, I don't care about having things aligned to a grid. I don't need to see, um, I don't need to see bar measurements. I don't need to see BPM. I don't need to see what the difference between a quarter note and a half note is. I don't care. I have the recording. So the timings are not really that important to me. And so in this, as you'll notice, there are no grids. Nothing is aligned to anything else. The notes are aligned to each other, and that's all that needs to happen because that's all I care about are the notes and the relationship between the notes. Beautiful. Right. So like in that case, the meter is just not relevant. And I have many songs like this where the meter's not relevant, and that just carries over in a lot of the things I like to play and think about. I will hold notes, hold chords for arbitrarily long. I noticed at the end, I say that the scale is F2. That's not right. The scale should be F. There is no scale. Okay. The chord is F2. Anyway. Oh, sweet. So there's a section here where I play this pentatonic thing, and it would be a little bit difficult for me to understand what's happening if I just heard it. And if I didn't pick up, like there's a specific technique I'm doing that I actually know quite well, and maybe I should write this in my notes, but it's close to Barry Harris's method of doing bebop runs on scales, but I'm only doing it on a pentatonic scale. So being able to see it makes it very easy to understand what's happening. If I were to only hear it, I would be very confused. So this whole business starting from here, it's quite easy to understand once I can see it and I can click. I can play along and understand easily what's going on there. You get the picture though, maybe. Okay. And then I guess one easier song. Another benefit here, of course, is it's going to be a app only for myself, and I can gather notes and write down the styles that I'm doing and all the things I'm thinking about. And as a part of that, I'll be getting some training data. And with that training data, I can either train the model, which is an AI model that is transcribing the piano. And it's already pretty good, but it's not perfect. I have to go through and edit things. So I will have the training data for that, so I can literally train my own model that is specifically made to my own music. And then I can also either train an LLM or just have a specific prompt that can tell it how to analyze my music. So once the MIDI is there, then it will know how to convert the larger scales into sections, or how to focus and say that this is a chord, or how to notice that this is a scale. It'll be a part of the training data and be able to do all that stuff. Thank you for watching. Links in the description to the GitHub, also link to my Patreon in the description. If you want to promote aesthetic optimism, is all I do. It's all I care about. Help me do that. Your support goes a long way.